I started my own brick
Hold on, before you
business.
start that, what was the poll on that?
Oh, it's a landslide. There was not a single no.
Okay.
But it's still going on. So hopefully we get a bunch of no's because fuck you guys and your stories.
So, all right, thanks, Bert.
That wasn't Bert, it was Marcus.
So, back in 2015, that's when I started my brick business. Came out of a necessity more than like planning and preparedness. So I started doing my thing with what little tools I had. And the first job that I got, I'm out there putting a barbecue grill together. And I'm working in the customer's backyard. I'm out there all day. And there comes a time where I'm starting to get the bubblies. Well, I wait until him and his wife go in the house, and they're very nice and welcoming. But, you know, you don't really want to blow someone's stranger's bathroom up. So I opted for going in his shed and utilizing a bucket. So the feeling hit me rather fast, so I didn't have a whole
bucket?
lot of time prepared. It was my bucket.
Why do you shit in weird situations, weird places?
Shit happens. I got a couple of these work stories that would wow you. But
Paper
anyways,
plates funneling into a fucking...
I was grown, and this came out of necessity and not humor. So I had to shit real bad. The guy's shed had it didn't have a concrete pad as a floor. It was all gravel and rocks. So I go in there, and I figure I'll just lay some of those rocks down in the bucket and then shit on those. And then it'll make the cleanup easier, you know what I'm saying? And just bury my shit when I was done. Dig a hole and
You
bury
fucking
it.
cat.
Either way, I do work. I do work, and I'm in there. And while I'm in there, I hear voices come out. So I'm looking out the crack of the shed door, and I start panicking. Here comes the homeowner, his wife, and their parents, which were fresh off the boat from, like, Yugoslavia or something
they're used to
like
that.
No, so they come out,
Oh.
and they're, like, super proper. I'm like, oh, no. And I'm, like, stuck in there trying to think of an excuse to why I'm in there. So I spend another good 15, 20 minutes in there trying to come up with this excuse. And I'm even coming up with excuses if he's to come in the shed while I'm in there.
Pants around your
I
ankles.
finish shitting long before, and I throw more rocks on top of the dookie. So if he asks what I'm doing, I'll be
What'd
like,
you wipe with?
I think I brought in some sort of toilet paper or something, napkins or whatever. So I even come up with the excuse to if he comes in there, like I'd have a bucket with just
Was it
rocks.
loose? Solid?
It was loose, but I threw rocks over the dookie, so it would just look like a bucket of rocks.
They just smell real shitty.
Well, I finally come up with the excuse, and I start to make my way out there, but I leave the bucket in the back of the shed, try to hide it. So I come out, and all their eyes dart towards me, and I'm like, you know, looking like real troubled at the time. And they're like, what's going on? What were you doing in there? I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I was just like, I had an anxiety attack, and I needed to be somewhere dark in solitude for a little while. And they're like, oh, my God, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'll be okay. But, you know, I'm going through a lot lately.
Don't go in your garage.
Well,
It stinks
some
real bad.
hours pass, and, you know, the parents leave and everything. So then I break it down to my man. I was like, look, you know, he turned out to be real cool. To this day, he'll still call me trying to hang out. And I told him, I was like, look, man, I didn't really have an anxiety attack. I took a dump in there and couldn't figure out a good enough excuse. Him. And he's like, oh, my God, are you serious? He's like, honey, come over here. Come over here. He's like, hey, tell her. They're dying laughing. He's like, man, you should have just told us. I was like, I don't know, man. Your parents being foreign like that. And you know, I just felt like I might have offended them or something in some way I wouldn't have anticipated. So, yeah, I had an anxiety attack.